event feature match time. The NWA Anarchy tag team titles on the line. Youth Gone Wild.
Hey, wait, no, whenever you say Youth Gone Wild, you got to say, oh yeah, whenever in reference to Youth Gone Wild.
Don't ever interrupt me again, you understand me?
I just want a little more enthusiasm about when you mention our champions.
The Youth Gone Wild, the Anarchy Tag Team Champions.
Oh yeah.
Defending the titles against, the guys that robbed us back in hostile environment, a couple of backstabbers, a couple of no good people. You can't trust them. I'll never do business with them again.
Tell us how you really feel.
Of course, I'm talking about Andrew Pendleton III, Bryan Casanova, the love of money. Are you kidding me?
Well, you know, a lot of people say that money is the root of all evil, and I think if you ever were to believe that, you can certainly take a look at that tag team. Some would say, anyway, at least with Bryan Casanova and Andrew Pendleton III. Andrew Pendleton, definitely no stranger to tag team division, that's for sure. And you know he certainly has to be an influence on this younger guy, Bryan Casanova, who claims he's from every woman's dream. I'll have to take his word for it, but right now we've got an amazing match going on. I should say, when I say amazing, we certainly saw a great matchup at hostile environment with Youth Gone Wild, defending those titles. They were able to come out unscathed. But again, we'll have to see just how much money can buy with possibly training, being able to scout their opponents as such as they are able to do. But no matter what, it still doesn't take away from experience and in-ring ability from either one of these teams. Great cohesiveness going on as we would expect from Youth Gone Wild right there. Goes for a cover, only able to get a 2 count from John Johnson.
Well, you know, like I said, I'll give Andrew Pendleton III his credit. He's been part of a great tag team with, our current GM, JT Talent, with a, multiple-time tag team champion with him. He took some other partners under his belt that did not quite pan out. And now he's found this young man in Bryan Casanova, who I thought had a bright future ahead of him, okay? The guy's well put together. He's got a good look. I think he's got the right attitude, but I don't think he has the aptitude. The guy's kind of empty between the ears, if you know what I mean. He's not a very bright guy.
Why would you look at me when you say that? And why would I know what that means?
Well, I'm just saying you can relate to him. But the only way you can relate to him, but, the lights are on, nobody's home.
I see. Well, right there trying to get some full steam and a monkey flip. Oh, Bryan Casanova, the power. Thought we were going to see a monkey flip in the corner, but just able to swat away Dustin Knight right there. Again, it seems like Andrew Pendleton III, sometimes I say he's the brains of the team, and Bryan Casanova certainly the power. And those kicks, continuous kicks right there from Anthony Henry under Bryan Casanova didn't even seem to have any phase him at all. Going for the tag.
Now I'll give Youth Gone Wild some credit here, going for the quick tag. And believe you me, all right, I want to let you know that the ambassadors are somewhere watching this right now. We're scouting this out, and we're going to make our intentions known very clear. Number one, the one intention is those Anarchy Tag Team titles. Those are ours. They belong with the ambassadors. There's no other tag team here in the NWA Anarchy that can compare to the ambassadors.
Well, I have to ask as a manager, I don't know if this is partly why you haven't been in the best of mood this week, especially when you found out about this match, because the ambassadors are an formidable opponent, I will give you that. And they have been together a little bit longer than the love of money. And it seems like the love of money getting that title match. Is it because you feel probably rightfully so that the ambassadors should be in this main event right now going for those goals?
Let me tell you, we were robbed at hostile environment. When it came down to that four-way for this shot right here, love of money, they robbed us, they blindsided us, they cheated to get where they're at. I can't see how you can have any pride, how you can have any good feeling when you've got to constantly cheat, bend, and break the rules to get to the top, to get where you're going.
Did I just hear you correctly say that? I might have to go back and replay this episode. Okay, continue, I'm sorry. I was
driving that knee right into Anthony Henry was Bryan Casanova. And this is what I'm talking about. That Bryan Casanova allowed Anthony Henry back up to a vertical base. Anthony Henry's quick on his feet. That's when he does his best wrestling. You got to keep this man down. And this is for the Anarchy Tag Team title. Now, maybe, just maybe, he had an epiphany. Maybe Bryan Casanova realizes that when they win this match, they're going to have no other choice but to face my ambassadors, and he doesn't want the beating that he's going to be entitled to.
sometimes I certainly have to question the newcomer of Bryan Casanova and some of his decision-making abilities here in the ring, especially as you see a lot of posing, a lot of showboating. It seems to me that there is time for that, but only after you win. And right now you've got to be able to get through the NWA Anarchy champions, and no one can ever take them lightly. We'll see Andrew Pendelton III going for the cover, gets a 2 count on them, and both got him up on the vertical base there, trying to get him in a good position to be able to capitalize. Right hand, referee Dee Byers admonishing, goes for the tag, does glove of money.
Just want to remind everyone real quick, this is our feature contest. If you're just joining us, Anarchy Tag Team title match. The Youth Gone Wild defending against the Love of Money, Bryan Casanova and Andrew Pendelton III. But next week, huge, big main event next week for the North American title. It's going to be Sean Timber defending that title against Michael Judas. That and a whole lot more in 7 days. But right now, the Anarchy Tag Team title match continues.
Absolutely, as you touched on that North American title matchup, you definitely want to make sure you're here for that. Call your friends, tell anybody, make sure you're here to watch that matchup. I can't wait for 7 days. Right now you see Anthony Henry trying to make the tag to get that fresher man in of Dustin Knight from Youth Gone Wild, but not really able to get far enough over there. Andrew Pendelton III knows about cutting that man off. It's got him backed up into the corner. Bryan Casanova wants to be tagged in, but it looks like Andrew Pendelton III still has some unfinished business that he wants to be able to take care of. And as you see, the referee's distracted. Bryan Casanova taking advantage of that. As if it wasn't enough that the man was already in the corner. That's why you want to sometimes take advantage of that if you are that other team, I have to say. Good roll up there, 1, 2. Able to make the tag. One full swoop and bring the fresh man in. Tonight. All that momentum, all the power. Now it looks like the Love of Money needs to be able to probably make the tag if they want to get that fresher man in.
I had to say, not a very wise move there by Andrew Pendelton. Kicking Anthony Henry off into his own corner, allowing Dustin to get the tag. But wait a minute.
He's got his back turned in. He goes to the right as well. 2 for the press on. Joined out right out here by us on the floor. And you got to watch these guys. These guys are crazy. We saw this before, hostile environment, through a suicide dive, through the top rope there. That's that great teamwork.
And now Dustin Knight, the only man standing, while Anthony Henry's standing now, trying to get Love of Money up here. Wait a minute, oh! Got around and was able to take about both members there.
That's right. Now, Youth Gone Wild certainly got to get at least one of the freshmen, well, not the freshman in, the legal man into the middle of the ring to be able to pin him. I know as champion you don't have to, but that's not the way these champions are. They want to go out. It's a contest to them, and that's exactly what they want to do, is be able to beat them. And certainly, 1, 2, would look great for the champions to be able to put away this upcoming team of the Love of Money here this week on NWA Anarchy.
Well, we've already seen one big title change here this evening.
To me, it looks like he used the hair. Just in my opinion, from what I saw up here.
It's okay to use the hair sometimes. But, you know, the thing is, like I was saying, we've already seen one big title change here earlier this evening. We saw Jacob Ashford lose that Young Lions championship to Bo Newton. And I can tell you, from my expertise, from being a manager and from managing champions, when you're situated on the card, higher up on the card, and there's been a title change lower on the card, that does weigh in the back of your mind. You know, you're like, is there a vibe in the air? Is there something going on in the air? So that does weigh in the back of your mind. I know it's weighing in the back of Youth Gone Wild's mind, because, you know, you got to think, anybody can beat anybody on any given day. So your titles are in danger here. And yes, there is that championship advantage. The champions don't have to beat you. You have to beat the champion. But all that thought process goes out the window once another title change has happened. You're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, am I next? And then, you know, they can throw you off your game if you allow it to. What I've told my men in the past, if you find yourself in that situation, slow it down. Wrestle your match. Don't worry about what happened earlier. Wrestle your match, stay with your game plan, and all will be okay. The Love of Money. Right there, you see Pendelton stepping on the hair of Dustin Knight. If you just cut it, that wouldn't happen.
Well, certainly you've touched on a great point. I would definitely say about that. There's something sometimes about the vibe in the air that you have to be careful of as champion. But you're absolutely right about slowing down the pace. It's like make the challenger come to you, be able to see what they have, what they're able to offer, because you as champion could then adapt to that skill. Because at the end of the day, you can still walk out as champion, but they've got the challenger's actually got to be able to beat the champion. And what a great way to be able to see that. And that's what is fascinating to me sometimes about this team with Youth Gone Wild. They will put their bodies all on the line for a high-risk maneuver, such as we saw earlier in this match with that suicide dive. And one wrong move, 1 inch wrong, and now that they are wiped out. And then the other team may be able to capitalize on that. And that, to me, is what's fascinating about this team. They will take it to you in any way, shape, or form. And we see Andrew Pendleton III right there going for a suplex. And now is he able, as we saw earlier, those elbows that he was dropping, goes for the cover. Two count.
Now, I was just getting ready to say a big mistake there by Andrew Pendleton. He moved him out of his corner to the center of the ring. But when he covered him for the pin, he put his body between Anthony Henry and Dustin Knight. That is very wise. If you'll notice, the great tag team, if they do utilize that center part of the ring, when they go for a cover, they're going to put their body between the guy and his partner. That adds a little bit of a buffer zone. It gives you that little bit of leeway to work in case there is a kick up. But the ultimate goal, besides getting the pin, is to keep the guy in your side of town. Keep him in your corner. Don't allow him into a neutral corner like he is right now, because he's closer to his partner. If you have him directly across from him, that's 16 feet away from your partner.
Well, certainly that's one thing I've seen throughout this match. Well, there's vicious chops that can't continue from Dustin Knight. Got to be lighting up the skin of Bryan Casanova. Love of Money have definitely kept the other man in their corner. It seems like a lot more taking advantage of that opportunity than it seems Youth Gone Wild has been able to do here in this match. Oh, power and strength. One half of Love of Money going for the cover, two. Oh, right there. That was a 2 count. But it was probably very close to being a 3 as well.
Earlier this evening, we heard from the manager of the Anarchy, heavyweight champion Osreo, of course, number the Reverend Dan Wilson. We saw the Reverend Dan Wilson send his guy out, send Osreo out in a 2-on-1. Our first look at the new Anarchy heavyweight champion was here this evening. We also saw the return of the Urban Assault Squad, the victorious in their first match, but was attacked by the Hate Junkies. We hope to have more on those top stories.
And not to mention Jacob Ashworth, and we saw it with the Z as well, too, kind of hobbling along in the back. Get some type of word on how his condition has been, too, this week.
Big neck breaker there by Dustin Knight. Both men are down. Dustin Knight fighting away from his corner, and as you see, Bryan Casanova, oh, wait a minute, was kicked in the face, and now Anthony Henry in.
As Anthony Henry at top rope, double stomp, put both of them down. Anthony Henry needs to be able to take advantage of that. Clothesline goes Andrew Pendleton III. Sends him across for the ride. Big power slam move, and he's feeling it. He needs to keep his eye on there on the outside of Bryan Casanova and take advantage. You need to go for the quick pin when you have that opportunity. He was able to catch him off guard with the power slam. Irish whip into the corner. And Andrew Pendleton III able to throw him over. Forearm from Anthony Henry all the way across on the top rope, raking it, and tornado DDT, but was able to hold on. Smart move there from Youth Gone Wild, and a great, wow, suplex.
Actually, I think that was more of a brain buster.
Yeah, it looked
like a brain buster there.
Two count, almost was a 3. Bryan Casanova on the outside.
Only a 2 count there. Very close to a 3, and both these teams are really taking it to each other. And I'm telling you, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking seeing these two teams take all this abuse out on each other.
I know exactly why.
Oh, wait a minute.
From Bryan Casanova, seemed like interference, and now is going to come in with a tag. Of course you want to see all this punishment. It certainly helps your ambassadors should they ever get a match with either one of these teams. Knee lift right there. Sends Bryan Casanova into the corner. Oh!
The double enziguri there, and Bryan Casanova out. And right now, Dee Byers trying to get Dustin Knight in the ring. There was a legal tag out. Wait a minute.
It's allowing
Dustin Knight on that top rope.
Top. Oh, big missile drop kick finds its mark on Bryan Casanova. Meanwhile, we've got the other half of the team fighting on the outside right out here at our Anarchy fans. Poor Dee Byers having to keep up with all this
Wait a minute,
action.
Dustin Knight going back to that top rope again, maybe going to the well one too many times.
High cross body, but was caught from Bryan Casanova.
Oh, wait a minute, big move there.
Goes for the
One, two, three.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners,